Beautiful people, hope you're having a great day. This is Studio Visitor, the podcast about European music studios talking gear, philosophy and history. As you can see, I'm in the front of Fest Berlin and I'm attending the Superbooth to do a report on the Pro Audio division of this amazing exhibition. Let's not waste any more time. This is yet another day, another story to tell. Let's go. On the booth of Bettermaker, Mr. Marek, enlighten us. What do you have for us?
Okay, so the Bettermaker is a company that comes from Poland, and we offer Bettermaker gear, of course.
Didn't know that.
But it's analog gear with digital recall, so
Yeah.
you can actually use 100% analog signal path, and they are digitally recalled from your favorite DAW, and they can be automated also.
Yeah. The most interesting development at the moment.
Well, our best seller right now is the mastering limiter. It's all around the world. It was used on huge stages, live stages, also on big records. Like for example, lately it was used on the Madonna concert in Rio for 1.6 million people.
Wow.
So it was the front of house. But our newest product is the passive stereo equalizer, valve passive stereo equalizer, and it's the first product that has valves in it and trafos, and it's also digitally recalled.
This is inspired by the Pultec EQ.
Yes, to some point it's a passive EQ,
Yeah.
but we extended a little bit some functionalities.
That's why I said inspired.
Yeah.
What's up for the future?
Well, we are developing our plugins because we also partner with Plugin Alliance and Native Instruments
Yeah.
to develop our plugins. So we have already 5 plugins on out, and there is another plugin coming too. But
That's a secret.
Yeah, that's a secret. We will talk about it in a few days, actually, from now.
Yeah.
And yes, and we are developing new hardware also that will probably be exciting to see.
I will looking forward to that. I want to thank you for your time,
Thank you so much.
and I hope to visit you in this year in the factory.
Oh, yeah,
in
you're more
Poland.
than welcome. Yeah.
I'm happy to. My special friends at Eve Audio.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
Sven.
Hi.
Good to meet you again.
Yep. Very nice.
We got an episode coming up about the factory and the history of the
Nice.
company. But today you got something special here presenting at Superbooth.
Yep, we are very excited to present our new monitor series, which is the EXO series.
Yeah.
We basically replaced the old SC series with the four new types. We are talking about 24 4-inch, 25 5-inch, 27 7-inch, 28 8-inch woofers size.
Yeah.
And we basically redesigned the whole speaker, the whole monitor. We have a new cabinet, we have a new tweeter, we have a new woofer, we have a whole new power supply, we have a new amplifier. So this is really like, this is a real update, I'd say.
Okay, that's the update. But the biggest update is even more exciting.
It's even more exciting. We have the network input for Dante, for Atmos setups, for all the network protocols you could imagine. And additionally, we will add a desktop app to set up all your settings, filters, EQs for each speaker individually.
Yeah.
It's not ready yet. It will come at the end of the year, but this will be a pretty cool addition to our speaker line.
Okay.
And
Talking about setting it up, is there a measurement system ready yet?
we include an own room adaptation system, which will be released very soon, fall this year, definitely, with everything you could imagine. It's really nerdy. You have all the access to all parameters you will need, even the delay time. So one thing I want to show, we got rid of the front knob, which was kind of our unique selling point or one of our USPs. But let me turn the speaker around. Now we have the rear knob, but it features an LED screen now.
Oh,
so
fancy,
you can read.
fancy.
And it's a very nice solution when you see it. It's very small, but you can see everything you want
Bright
very
enough,
clearly.
clear enough to read all the parameters.
Yeah, maybe we got some tricks like delay compensation. I don't know if a lot of speakers who can set it up like directly on the monitor, but you have it in centimeters and you get the milliseconds, etc., to if you're really nerdy about fitting these speakers into your room, you will be able to now.
The funny story is everybody that uses these kind of speakers, studio gear, whatever, we
Yeah.
all are nerds. We all have a big passion for music and technology.
Exactly. And that's even our slogan, built for passion. All of our guys are like musically very interested. We put all the focus on the sounds, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why our old setup, the speakers were not the most good looking ones, but now the sound matches the appearance, I guess. The appearance matches the sound.
I'm happy to see that. What's up for the future?
For the future, we will try to replace our monitors we have now with a new series. We start up with the small ones, 24, 25, 27, 28. But there might be more to come, because this is really, we have the greatest amplifier, greatest power supply. Everything's really state of the art today. So there will be more in the future.
I'm happy to see the results in the future.
Yeah.
Sven, I want to thank you for your time. Have a
Yep.
great one.
See ya.
We'll see you each other in the future.
Next year.
Bye-bye. At the booth of Gainlab Audio, Imre Marquet is next to me. Thank you
Hello,
for having
nice
me.
to meet you. Hello.
Nice to meet you
Hello.
too. You got some interesting news for us. Please tell.
Yeah, I do have. We have two new products here we are showcasing here at the Superbooth, and I believe they are going to be pretty excited and great for the market. The first one is the Wizard, which stands here right next to me. The Wizard is a tube saturator. It's a stereo unit based on triodes, and all the controls which you have, really great controls for a tube saturator, are controlling both of the channels. We have here some input controls. We have here a 3-band EQ, which is preparing the signal itself for the saturation. You can set up how much low end, mid band, with frequency selector and high frequencies you want to work with on the saturation process.
Boost or cut.
Yes, boost or cut, and it's pretty good visible what you are setting up.
What kind of EQ is it? Inductor, gyrator,
No,
typical?
it's a typical passive EQ, some shelving low band and shelving for high band, and we made basic analog EQ, good sounding analog EQ for the mid band itself.
That's amazing.
This is the core of the whole thing, the biasing of the tube. So you can set up some hot bias where you have a saturation which likely to your ear, or you can set up some cold bias which is having a nasty distortion, which is good for works on the bass lines or things like that. So you have a feed control. Feed control is the balance between the distorted signal, the original signal, and the generated harmonics.
Okay.
It's not like a wet dry. You can remove completely the original signal and have just the distorted signal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a unique thing. We're not so many people are doing this kind of thing. The cherry on a cake is this button, because it's a Verimue compressor, a true Verimue compressor inside as a final stage, and this is the gain reduction of the Verimue compressor.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
what you are receiving is a good equalizer, a harmonic distortion unit, and a compressor in one unit.
How much will it cost?
It's about 2,800 euros. The unit is gonna be on the market in about 1 month. We're showcasing it here and showcased it at the NAMM show.
How are the reactions to this product?
Everybody is really excited because the market of saturators is really narrow. Only several game players are on the market.
True that.
And it's interesting as we are coming up with our product. Okay.
The next product is the Lieutenant.
The Lieutenant is a monitor controller. Monitor controller we are using for changing your sources and put into a destination. So your sources, 1 or 2 outputs of your sound card, or a digital input, or even a Bluetooth input. And you have 3 of your monitor speakers in your studio, some smaller, a bigger one, and you change which output you're listening to. This thing is having a special function of power sequencer. So we have 1 power line in and 3 power lines out. And you can turn on and off your speakers, your computer, and your rack in a sequence and individually.
Wow.
So as you start your studio, you can turn it on, and the power sequencer turns on the rack.
Boom, boom,
The
boom.
yeah, boom, boom, boom. That's the way. That's the way. And the speakers are not bumping while you turn on the sound card. So they are always the last one to turn on, and they are always the first one to turn off. We have a big volume knob.
I hear relay switches.
It's the relay attenuator that you hear while it's clicking.
Yeah.
You can choose the sources where you get the signal from, so it can be a digital, SPDIF, or even a Bluetooth source, and 3 speaker pairs that you are driving. Obviously, mute, mono, and dim functions, which is great. We have some little extra, some low-pass filter, some band-pass filter, and high-pass filter added to the signal, so the sound engineer can focus on certain frequency ranges. And this is the power sequencer. So there are also some heavy relays inside, and you can turn on your speakers, your computer, whatever, or you can make power off sequence also. So
It's an amazing product. When will it be available?
it's also in the same time on the Wizard. So I truly hope in 1 month it's gonna be on the market, and in the stores it's gonna be available for purchasing.
Yeah. Estimate price?
It's in the same level as the Wizard, so
Around
the 2,800 euros. That's the level where.
I want to
Okay.
thank you for your time,
Thank you for your time.
and we'll see each other in a future
Thank you.
episode.
Thank
Have
you.
a great one.
Bye.
On the booth of Elysia, and next to me is Stefan Koltzmann. Thank you for making some time.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, you're welcome. What can you tell us about the Elysia products?
Well, I think the Elysia products combine very high quality in the products itself
Yeah, they do.
with a really accurate audio quality, and it's always controllable. So you are always in charge and in control of what you're doing. That's Elysia, I would guess.
Yeah. The latest product is the X-Max. What can you tell us about it? Who is it meant for, and what does it do?
The X-Max is a purely analog, multi-band, and mid-side processing master bus processor.
That sounds complicated.
Yeah, but it sounds more complicated than it actually is, because though you have multi-band control and mid-side processing built in, there are, I think it's not so many knobs, not so many controls as you would guess.
It's more knobs than the average.
It's a purely stereo unit
Oh, really?
on the in and outside path, but you got 3 distinct thresholds for the low band, the mid band, and the side band. You have crossover control for the crossover frequency between the low band and the rest of the frequency range. You got a punch mode for a higher range, for a higher ratio of the compressors, which leads to more punch. That's why
in the low end, or
no, it's an overall punch of the compressor behavior. You have a low-mo feature, which is meant for if you're thinking of maybe a synth pad, something that has very much low frequency in the side bands, which you most obviously don't want. You can turn it to mono. It's a high-cut, low-cut filter in the side band.
Yeah.
So this kind of monotone.
Mono the low end.
Yeah.
So yeah. The beauty of this product is it's available in the 500 series and as a rack unit.
Exactly.
But that goes for all the units that we see here, the character, the X filter.
Yeah, that's correct. And the 19-inch one rack unit version is exactly identical to the 500 series version. It contains the same audio PCBs, the same audio components. It's just the power supply.
Clever thinking. What's up for the future?
Well, we got a few products in development. There will be maybe 500 series EQ model at a time. I don't know exactly.
You know, but you can tell.
No, not exactly. Especially not when it comes out.
Okay.
The main product which we're developing right now should be the Genex Studio, which is fully controllable, automatable, remote and recall. Able with plug-in control, to be honest, recording front end containing of a preamp, a multiband dynamic section, a monitor section, flavor section, standard compressor. Am I missing something? No, I think that's it.
Yeah, whatever. When will that be available?
Yes, this will come out in. I don't know exactly. It was announced for 2025, but I think we will skip it and it will
Next
be
year.
2026. Yeah, I think.
Let's agree on one thing. I'll be the first one to reveal the product.
We can do that.
I will be happy to visit your factory.
Okay, we can do it.
I want to thank you for your time,
Thank you very much.
and we'll see each other in the future.
Great.
You're welcome.
Bye.
On the booth of Warm Audio, next to me, Ben W.
Hello,
Because there are a lot of bands in your company.
Yeah. We've got
Yeah.
a couple Bens. You call me Ben W or B Woo, they call me at the office.
Be woo, be warm. What's happening lately with the company? What are the latest products you want?
Yeah. So we our most recent is we just released a new ribbon microphone.
Looks expensive.
It's it's affordable. That's what we do. We try to make it affordable for everyone. But this is it's based off of a 50s style ribbon mic, actually called the Fentone. So we actually got the trademark for the name.
Oh wow!
Yeah, bought the trademark. It's an amazing ribbon mic. The coolest thing about it is it's, as we know, ribbon mics are kind of low output microphones.
Yeah.
So this has a built-in lifter in it. So you get 26 dBs of clean gain. You can flip on if you need it, directly built into the microphone.
Oh,
So
that's amazing.
yeah, so it's one of the coolest features on it. It's a killer mic for guitar cabs. That's one of our favorite applications that we use at Warm Studios. But we've had great success on overheads, trumpet, like I said, guitar cabs, and a few different drum applications.
Yeah.
Great for room mics too. So that's our latest release. Just at the end of last year, we released both the W76D and W76A. Obviously, really similar components inside, but you're going to get a little bit cleaner sound out of the 76D. If you're looking for a little bit more vintage grit, you'd probably go for this blue stripe version.
Yeah.
Both of them amazing compressors. We're excited to have these on them. Some really cool added features too. My favorite being the dry wet mix
I
here.
can imagine.
Yeah, so we released the 76 quite a few years ago. One of our original products on the Warm Audio product line didn't have all these added features. It was kind of an authentic vintage recreation of the classic Rev D 76. So we decided to re-release it, kind of a 10-year anniversary re-release with some added features to it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so those are kind of the newest things. A few other things that I think people will appreciate here, the Wampex preamp.
Yeah, I know that.
You might be familiar, but it's a tube preamp. You can add 90 dBs of clean gain with this. So again, great to accompany a ribbon mic, anything that's low output.
What's up for the future?
Oh man, we shall see. We're kind of exploring a lot of new things.
That's all under embargo?
Yeah, it's all under embargo, but it's cool to introduce these 76s because, when we first started as a company, we wanted to make products that were very authentic to the originals with no differences to them. But we understand that people want new features for a more modern work environment in the studio. So we're exploring still making vintage recreations, but how can we make these more powerful, more usable for a modern workspace?
That's for the future. I want to thank you for your time and perhaps until we meet again.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you stopping by. And
Thank you.
if you're coming through Superbooth, this gets launched, come see us.
On the boat of dangerous music combined with Chameleon Labs, Mr. Stefan, thanks for having me.
No problem.
What can you share with us?
Well, welcome to Berlin. Weather is nice.
Yeah, sure it is.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, this is our second time at Superbooth, and I love showing our stuff. And we brought a complete hybrid studio of Dangerous Music. So Dangerous Music is the brand that comes in place when you leave and go out of the box.
Yeah.
Because you want all your analog gear to be in the best possible environment. And that's what Dangerous Music stands for. A little bit history, we started in New York, coming from a mastering background. Chris Muth, the designer, is one of the most known gurus in designing mastering console and mastering gears, and he is behind the product.
Yeah.
So
That is the history, but what is the present?
the present is that
What
we
we're
are
looking at?
the present is that we are now we have a complete hybrid studio. That means we have the DA converter to go out of the box
Yeah.
into an analog environment, including summing, including equalization, compressing, and then returning back into the system with an AD converter.
Yeah, but all top notch.
And all the best that there is by trying to give different flavors, which is a very important thing. I can actually show it to you. We have two summing devices. One is called the 2-Bus Plus that has included 3 types of coloring
Yeah.
that you can assign on the individual channel or on the master bus. In the 2-Bus Plus, we have harmonics, power limiting, and we have a transformer that you can dial in.
Really?
In the XT, which is the smaller brother, we have another transformer for a different color. Plus, we have a coherence setting to sort of work on the center of a frequency range of like vocals, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So you can actually move the vocals back and forth.
That's interesting.
And on the 80 Plus, we have a third transformer for another color that you can dial in onto your master, into your master sum or bus.
Yeah. So more than enough of harmonic distortion.
Well, and we don't want to repeat it. We want to give the different color choices of things that we have.
Yeah.
Yes. And what's important also is that that you don't have to worry about sample rates, like switching sample rates. So our converters, they automatically switch to the incoming sample rate.
Doesn't
by
matter
itself.
where you work
Doesn't
on.
matter where you work, and you always have USB, AES, and optical as a choice of your input source.
More than enough. About the dangerous line, what's up for the future?
Well, we're putting all our energy into future products, and we're about to announce something shortly, which I cannot do as of today.
Okay.
In these wild times, things always sometimes get delayed, and then you don't really want to go say, oh, we have this great box, and then it takes another.
Can you describe the type of product? Or
It's going to be something out of our existing range that we're going to revive.
that is really interesting. I'm looking forward to see that one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any idea when it will hit the market?
Soon, very
Soon.
soon. I mean, I'm not talking months, maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's going to happen this year.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Looking forward to see that product.
Okay.
In the meantime, on Dangerous Music, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you next year again. Bye. Cranborne Audio on Superbooth. Next to me is Sean Kopowicz. How are you doing?
I'm really well, Davey. It's lovely to see you. Lovely to
Yeah.
speak with you. Lovely to be at Superbooth. I love this show.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy to be here. What can you tell us about the new stuff you're bringing?
Well, so we have a couple new, would be our Brick Lane 500 modal PWM compressor.
Yeah.
But still relatively new is our HE2 harmonic EQ. I mention it because I think Superbooth is a show where like creation is like really at the center of it.
Yeah.
And the Carnaby HE2 is a very creative sound design tool as well as a mixing tool. It really is quite an inspiring device because it just adds excitement and color to your recordings in a very simple, engaging way. So a lot of attendees at the show are really interested in the Carnaby and hearing it and understanding what it is.
Yeah. Let me understand what it is. What kind of EQ is it? Is it like a harmonic EQ that's overlapping frequencies, or what is it?
Yeah, so first of all, what even is a harmonic EQ? Because we kind of invented it. Basically, a
That's a
normal
bold statement.
Yeah, well, no, there's never been a harmonic EQ before,
Okay.
and we trademarked it and stuff. So basically, every EQ that's ever existed uses phase to equalize a signal.
True that.
So capacitors or inductors or whatever, but what they do is they introduce phase shifts or phase for a boost. It's in phase, right? It's
Yeah.
and then capacitors adjust the value where that occurs at. But the crucial thing is analog EQs use phase to equalize a signal.
True that.
The Carnaby does not use phase to equalize a signal. It uses harmonics.
Yeah.
So it generates an EQ-like effect. It generates EQ curves, but that frequency content is all harmonics.
Really?
It's not, it's new material, new frequency content created from the source material by running it through an analog saturation core and generating harmonics.
Can I compare it a little bit with the exciter, but then in an EQ way?
It's a fair way to put it. Like, I guess like the Aphex or Exciter,
Yeah.
like a conical thing. That's kind of like, that's like a, it's hitting diodes and creating new.
Yeah.
So that's like a broadband saturator, I'd say, or an exciter,
Yeah,
you could say.
It is.
So it's sort of similar in that it employs like clipping behavior and saturation to generate harmonics. But this kind of works like an EQ, whereas an exciter is just like, kind of like slam it, or a saturation box kind of like slam it, and it's broadband and you get what you get. This has a frequency control.
Yeah.
And it's very precise. It's not as broadband, so you can really dial in exactly where you want it. And it doesn't just boost, it cuts as well. But the weird thing is when it cuts the source material, but in its place, it puts harmonics. So it's a very different sort of thing from other things that are out there.
Where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Who is this meant for? Because when you talk about this, to me, it's like mastering guys, but also tracking.
To answer your question, basically, Davey, it can be used anywhere in the chain. It just depends on,
Amazing.
like, you just use less if you're doing it for a mastering thing, and you use a lot more if you're using it during the tracking or the sound design stage.
The other product we're talking about, the Bricklane. It's a pulse width modulation compressor.
A modal PWM compressor, exactly. So PWM is like it's like the most controllable gain element that exists in analog audio, and also it's you're capable of very low distortion, very fast attack, very fast, very precise control of everything.
Even faster than the well-known FET compressor, the 1176.
Faster than the FET. Yep, PWM is faster than the FET.
Yeah.
Yep. So previously, like FETs when they came out back in the 70s, 80s, like they were way faster than anything else that existed. But PWMs are even faster.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why we're capable of zero attack time and zero like in analog because of our analog look ahead. The Bricklane has so much innovation in it, I can't even possibly go on, but analog look ahead's one of the ones that's worth doing. So analog look ahead. So in a plugin, you have look ahead, but the way that works is you have pre-recorded material that's a data file. And what that compressor does is it looks ahead of the pre-recorded material and then it will pre-apply the compression. So you can get a zero attack time.
Yeah.
So that's not, that you can't do that in analog because there's no data, right? It's electrons and copper, right? But we made analog look ahead. It's a real thing. So it's called negative group delay filter. So this is a thing in RF, basically in like radio frequencies and stuff like that, drone communications and stuff like that. It's a way of like reducing latency and getting better response. But that same concept of a negative group delay filter can be used in audio. So we've developed an audio negative group delay filter, which basically gives you a quarter wave look ahead.
Actually, this thing is traveling in time.
Like 1/4 of a wave.
Yeah,
yes.
1/4. Humanly possible.
Yeah. And again, it's not just a clean fast compressor. It has 7 modes. Velvet is Veramuse style compression. So slow and vintage. Float is an opto style compressor. Smash, a FET compressor that's absolutely murdered something, but in parallel sounds great. Tame is a classic PWM style, groovy but fast compressor. Glue is a bus style compressor. VCA style compressor. And then Polish that's our really fast mastering style limiting. And the other thing is it's not just a compressor, it has what we call our stress circuit, which is a multi-band saturation circuit.
Oh, wow.
That circuit is different for each compression mode. So the character of the stress circuit changes based on which mode it's in. It's just like, and there's like loads of little things like that. Like for instance, it's a multi-band saturation circuit, but the crossovers are linear phase and linear frequency response. And that's just like a small, like
in analog audio.
In analog audio.
Phase.
Yeah. And the reason, like, we didn't set out to make a linear phase crossover. It's just like we wanted a multi-band saturation circuit, but we had phase problems in this thing. So it's like, oh crap. All right, I guess we have to invent a linear phase crossover then. So a lot of this was like, we want to make the most amazing compressor ever. Now let's invent everything we need to make it so.
I need a 500 rack.
We all need a 500 rack.
Now you do. I want to thank you for your time. It's
Thank you so much,
great resource. Look them up. I'll link the company in the video description. We'll see each other in the future.
Thanks, Davey. Thanks for fighting the good fight and informing everyone.
Now let's give it a try. Would you? Okay. On the booth of API, next to me is Erwin. Erwin, what can you share with us about the beautiful products of API?
Yeah, as you see, this is the classic EQ, which is not new.
Yeah.
And this is the classic stereo bus compressor, which is also not new. But this is a new device, which is in the market for now like 4 months. And it's a 16-channel summing mixer.
Oh, wow.
So what we have is the circuitry is the typical op-amp 2520 op-amp based amplification circuitry for
The classic stuff.
the classic vintage API sound.
Who is it aimed for? Recording, tracking, or?
Yeah, there are quite many users who are mixing in the box, and in order to touch it with more analog vibes, they do like route it through this box
Yeah.
and receive it in their computer again, and you use it for mixing.
Yeah. On the backside, XLR or D-sub input?
No, you need DSOP because you'd had a salad of cables.
Yeah, it's a wise choice. It's already on the market. How are the reactions from the users?
Yeah, very cool, because normally we only supply dealers, but they reported to us that exactly what it was. I mean, API used to offer a summing system like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And just the look has changed, and some nice features now in it. And the response from the users is quite positive.
Yeah.
And also the price stage is very acceptable, because it's like 3,500 euros.
It's still pricey, but acceptable for a product like the API.
One must say.
Classic sound. I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
I hope to see you in the future.
Next.
On the booth of Klang Habitat, it's Christian.
Hi.
And Christian is the developer of the hardware and the software. Tell us a little bit, where's your hardware all about?
Well, our hardware deals with tube saturation. We try to build the most subtle tube saturator we could. We ship in 500 series modules, either in stereo or mono. We also ship with cubes, so you are covered if you not have a 500 frame.
The Cube is a partnership with Elysia, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
correct. It is the basic cube by Elysia. They ship their cube products.
Yeah, I love them. But you also designed the plugins.
Well, yeah, that's correct. We also ship plugins, which are the emulation of the actual hardware. We approximately reach like 80 to 85% of the actual hardware. It's a bit depending on your signal you push through it. It's the best I could do.
Yeah.
And it just comes from the early days of development, actually, that the plugin exists today.
Okay, that's amazing. But you told me up front, it's a lie that plugins can achieve 100% emulation.
Oh, well, this is obvious controversial. I mean, I tried my very best.
Yeah.
On a static signal, maybe yes, you can get extremely close, but we, as plugin developers, there's so many flavors hardware does, which either we don't understand or we have really hard times to get close to. Transient response, frequency response, etc. Because, yeah, there's still some magic in the box, in a hardware box we struggle with here and there.
Interesting. What's up for the future?
Well, for the future, we are right now developing also the standalone and the rack mount, meaning coming with the 19-inch version of Cassiopeia, a stereo unit. It has additional features I'm not allowed to talk about today, but quite soon.
Just one little thing? No.
Or filters.
Okay, that's interesting. Brand new. I'm looking forward to meet you again in the future. I want to thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
We'll see. I'm looking eagerly for your new products. Have a great
Pleasure.
day.
Thank you.
On the build of H-Labs, some of the more unknown companies here, but making great products. Next to me is Oliver. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for inviting me.
Tell us a little bit about your products and what's new to the public.
We are manufacturing pro audio products, and we got inspired by the Studio 169 console from the 80s. We started by mimicking the pre and EQ as 500 series modules that you can now find in rack mount unit also. So we have this pre. This pre is basically the input is really the same circuit as the studio console, same transformer, and we tweak the output circuit with a big kernel transformer, the same as you can find on NIV VR console, for example. Playing with gain and output trim, you can really go from the very clean sound of the shooter or more British grit. So interesting, very versatile preamp. And the EQ is perfect reproduction of the EQ section on the console, so the same sound. And now, today we are presenting this new product. It's the EQ169 Plus. We have the same EQ169 circuit topology, but on a mastering grade device. So it's a rack mount, 1U, mono, everything is stepped. Exactly. And we added an high-pass filter. So you can really tweak the low with the high-pass filter and the low shelf, because the low shelf is tuned very low at 20, originally on the console studio.
Wow.
Yes. So it's very interesting. And we added another option to tune it at 60 and made the same tweak on the high shelf that is originally tuned at 20K. And now you have an air option, I would say, at 35K.
Inspired by the Mach EQ with their airband?
Yes, kind of. Yes, it's the kind of EQ that will just shape your tone on the track. We don't do any precise things with this.
Yeah, just a sparkle on the top end.
Yeah, exactly. And one interesting feature is the EQ gain here, because the original EQ has a plus minus 15 dB range on each yellow knob here. And you can switch it to plus minus 5 dB for very precise work. Yeah.
For that typically mastering application.
Exactly.
What is up for the future?
Up to the future, this is up to the future because it will cheap in 1 month or two. But we are also working on some small audio tools for the 500 series. Like this one is a passive high-pass filter, completely passive, so you can go straight use your mic in it before the pre, for example. So it's pretty interesting. It's a pull take vibe actually. So kind of little tools to add to the studio. It's interesting stuff.
Okay, I want to thank you for your time.
No, it's me.
And I hope the crowd will know your products a little bit better.
With pleasure.
Until we meet again.
Bye.
Superbooth on the booth by one of my favorite brands, Solid State Logic. Next to me is Luke. Thanks for having me.
What's up, guys? Luke from Solid State Logic. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you for having me. Tell us what you want to share with the crowd.
Cool. So the newest thing we've got out at the moment is the SSL 18 and the Alpha 8 interfaces. So SSL 18 is our 26 in, 28 out, 1U audio interface.
Amazing.
USB-C. But we've got ADAT, 16 channels, ADAT in and out, and we've also got SPDIF conversion. Full zero latency monitoring and DC outputs. So DC coupled outputs.
And it's also 32-bit floating point?
Yes, absolutely. So all of the new SSL interfaces are all 32-bit floating point, 100 up to 196 kilohertz, and yeah, so full fidelity. And then with the 360 software that we've got built in, you can do all your headphone monitoring and zero latency within the software. So that is all in there, and we can sort of route and matrix all of that through there. So yeah, super comprehensive, really flexible, and really affordable as well.
Really. What else is new?
Over there.
We're going to move the camera a little bit because he is out of camera.
So Harrison Audio, we've got a new to SSL, but obviously anyone that knows the history of audio will know Harrison from sort of the 70s and 80s records, ABBA, Michael Jackson, all of the famous stuff there. So their original 32-channel console, the 32C, we've recreated. You can buy a brand new 32-channel at Harrison console. And these are the mix strips. They're the exact channel strip that's come out of that console.
Really?
So transformer-based mic preamp into high-pass and low-pass filters. And the really cool thing about the filters is they completely cross over. So it's from 25 hertz to 3.15K on the high pass, and then 160 hertz to 20K on the low pass. Wow. You can zero out a console. Really powerful for tone shaping, for if you're sampling drums, you can really find the pocket, really find a nice bit. really musical EQ. And then the really interesting thing about this is we've got our bus routing section where I can cascade all of these into a stereo submix.
Wow.
So I can essentially have a sidecar to my SSL console, can build it out of these channels, do my drum mixing, and then combine it into a stereo channel that I can then feed into another mixer like we've got here at the bottom. Yeah.
It's amazing stuff that's come from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep.
And
That's
now,
the one. Yeah. And now available for all you guys to get on your mixes.
yeah. I want to thank you for your time.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
you're welcome. Have a
Cheers,
great
man.
exhibition.
Take care.
Hello, world.
Hello. At the booth of Heritage Audio, I'm meeting up with Sam. And Sam, you got a lot of interesting stuff to mention.
We really do. There's a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of old, really cool gear, but we've got a lot of really new stuff that's just like been catching on, and people have been really excited about it. And it's funny, you know, we've got some really elaborate, really interesting, kind of really complicated products. And then we've got some stuff that couldn't be simpler, you know, but as easy as you can get. It's just a little switch 10 into 2 switcher or 2 into 20 output, and you can switch and you choose which one. Actually, it's really 10 into 1, but it's stereo. So it's really 20 into 2 or 2 into 20. You can go either way. And it is 100% passive. So you can go, it's bi-directional.
No power. You can go all the way.
All the way or either way. Yep.
What else do?
Ohm, this is a headphone amplifier, and it's really interesting because it's very high quality, very high powered. So what you get is the best possible signal with no distortion, no saturation. So you can really bring up the volume without it like starting to drive you crazy. You got to be a little bit careful because you can take it a little bit too far. And what's cool about this in particular is you can select the ohm rating. So you can match it. You can perfectly match it with the headphones. You should try this out. Just give it a little twist. You're going to love it. It's an Alps fader, and it just feels fantastic. It's nice, isn't it? It's better than, well, I'm not going to get too graphic.
Alps still makes these kind of faders.
It's actually called the Blue Velvet, the particular model. Well, it's known in the industry as a Blue Velvet because inside, if you open it up, it's actually blue on the outside.
What's next?
Okay, next up, we got these 3 different models of our i73 Pro. This is the one. This is the entry-level one, and this is the simplest of the versions.
Let me guess, it's a 1073 preamp
That's
clone?
the style of it, exactly. Transistor-based input transformer to stabilize, balance the signal, and give it some heft and some, you know, a little bit of weight. You can push the gain a bit if you want to try and thicken the signal a little bit, maybe reduce the output with the attenuator.
Yeah.
Just a really nice all-around unit. Here you control your monitors, and in the outer encoder you control your headphone, and then you also have a nice JFET DI as well. That is also before the transformer. So anything you plug in here, you maybe slip your bass into here, you can push that bass a bit in, give it a little bit of girth as well.
Yeah.
Really nice. The middle of the road would be the 2-channel version, which is very similar to this, but here you get 2 really nice, juicy front-end channels. The biggest thing with this, what we're running to do is offer a really nice front end at a reasonable price with pristine conversion, of course, and some cool features. Now, let's go on to the best of the bunch. This is our flagship model. All of them are called i73. This one in particular is the Pro Edge. Not only do you get the nice 2 juicy channels on the front end, we also offer 2 more line level inputs, because maybe for the last 10, 15 years, you've been working with a preamp that you really love a lot.
Yeah.
And you want that flavor, you want that sound. You don't necessarily want to push it through another preamp to give it because you're going to alter the color of it.
Yeah.
Here you got the best of both worlds. You can use the 73 style preamps, or you can use your own clean preamps. You also get ADAT expandability, 8 inputs and outputs as well.
USB-C,
MIDI breakout cable. Actually, all 3 units have the MIDI as well.
Okay.
But you also get an extra set of outputs for a secondary set of speakers for your monitors, an extra headphone output, and an extra DI. And you might say, well, how do you switch between that? Well, that's very easy, because not only are these encoders, this is also a button. So if you push that, you switch between the first set.
Smoothly.
Very smooth. And we also have all this stuff really quick and easy accessible. The idea is to stay in the physical world a little bit, you know, not have to grab your mouse that much and like, jump off. You can keep things going, basically. Keep things
It's kind
keep things groovy.
kind of mobile device that you can use anywhere on the planet as long as it fits in your backpack.
Yeah, basically. And if you're really serious about setting up a studio, you can always do it because you got another 8 channels of inputs and outputs.
yeah.
So with these 8 plus these 2 plus these 2, you're already up to 12. And now you should know as well, even with the entry level one, which is only a little bit over 600, I believe, you get our full set of plugins for free as well. So immediately when we released this, we released 6 plugins. And since it's released, we've released another 4. And what we're doing is we're basically modeling almost all of our we will eventually model all of our own analog gear. So you get that for free. So it's a pretty good deal as well.
Just curious, why would you model your own hardware?
I'll tell you, that's a good question, Davey Jones. Is because some of our users, like we've got some people that have got our original diode bridge successor.
Yeah.
Some people that had it.
I'm so sorry. Still regret us all.
We all make mistakes, don't worry. So what happened is a lot of people that had this, they're like, wow, I really wish I had, could repeat this. And sometimes you're traveling, you can't bring your rig with you. And we've had people writing into us like, wow, I've been using this for like the last 5 or 6 years. And I just download the plugin. It's incredible. You're really clever. And these are people that have been using it for years, and so they really know the equipment.
But how close does it come to the hardware?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. As far as users, real-time, real-life users of the products are writing in and saying, first, thanks for giving me the plugin. It's great. And you've made my life so much easier because a lot of times I'm on the road and I don't have access. I love that diode bridge compression. I really dig what it does to the signal, but I can't travel always with it. When you got the plugin, you just slip it in there. How close is it? I guess that's, relative. But like I said, we're getting people writing into us saying, fantastic, man. You guys knocked it out of the park.
What's up for the future?
We got some really cool things coming up within the next couple months. I'm not sure how much I can share without because I got the boss behind me. I make a swift kick to the ass. But we got some really cool things. So keep your eyes peeled. We've got some new stuff, and then we got some other stuff that kind of relied on some of our old technology and some of our old tube-based gear. So keep your eyes coming. We got some really cool 60s-inspired gear coming out.
Looking forward to see the new products of Heritage Audio, a great brand from Madrid, Spain.
Sure.
And we'll move on to the next booth. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure. Take care.
Okay, on the Superbooth in the secret compartment of Neumann. Next to me is Joma.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.
You got an interesting development going on.
Yes.
Tell a little bit about it.
Sure. So we launched almost 2 weeks ago our new binaural monitoring plugin. And the specific thing is we built the new studio in a really nice studio environment with the we selected a room. We're not saying which room it is, but it was selected for perfect frequency response in RT60. And then we built a completely new KH150 immersive monitoring system in there, and the subwoofer was a KH750. And then we put the KU100 dummy head microphone at the listening position and captured the impulse response of all the speakers. And then we used this data to make a plug-in to basically to transport you into this position. So if you monitor back the any source from stereo up to 7.1.4 with the binaural monitoring plugin, you're gonna get the impression you're sitting in this perfect studio, which is aligned by Neumann alignment software, and basically can mix with this. And we're not saying it can replace a full studio setup, but it's really, really close.
It's you be in another room with different acoustics, and you get the whole experience.
Right. You basically in the studio. You need one of our headphones to do it. You need to set it up for NDH20 or NDH30 headphones. But the results and the feedback so far is really, really positive. I had a lot of interviews also yesterday, people trying it out, and one of the people said, like, tell me, I told him, like, tell me one good thing and one bad thing about it, and he didn't come up with a bad thing. So that was a nice quote effort. So of course there are some people who don't like it. That's always the case.
You said you captured one studio.
Right.
If people do their research on websites, they probably know what it is. We're not going to disclose that. But do you have plans for capturing more rooms?
At the moment, no. but we will definitely keep improving on the plugin. There will be new features added, and yeah, watch the space. We're really having some big things. Maybe you will come back for the next round. I think the next iteration will be really, really powerful.
I will be there for the next round. I want to thank you for your time, and we're going to move on to the next booth. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
On the booth with Masterlab, my friend Andreas. How are you doing?
Hi, Dave. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you
good to see
for
you.
visiting us at the booth of Ploytech here with Masterlab Audio's DynaQ.
You got some improvement on the DynaQ. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. Actually, since the last version, we improved a couple of things. Now you can see we have some graphic improvements. We have now some spectrums in the two sections of above and below, so you can really see what's happening. Also, there will be some oversampling incorporated in the next version, which will come out, I guess, in around 3 to 4 weeks. We're just finishing up. We have something else on the table, but I'm not telling you that.
It's always been like that.
Not for this version, but there will be, let's say, a brother to DynaQ.
Okay, looking forward to see that. The new version, when will it be online?
I guess in around 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks, so at the end of June?
Yeah, mid to end June.
Yeah.
I would say.
We meet again the next time I'm in Berlin, and we're going to talk about your studio.
Yes, we do.
In the meantime, I'll go up to the next booth. Thank you. On the booth of one of my favorite brands, Apogee, I got to meet with Tony. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming by. Hey, all Superbooth, this is Tony from Apogee, and now I would like to show you something really interesting. To be honest, we have a new interface family called the Symphony Studio, and the Symphony Studio is aiming mostly for immersive audio such as Dolby Atmos.
Yeah.
So we have 3 configurations, the 2x12, which is technically speaking a Dolby Atmos powerhouse, an affordable but still symphony level way to reach Atmos quality and reach high quality Atmos sound. So reaching Atmos in a quality level. And the second level is the 8x8. The 8x8 is a traditional studio configuration, like a spiritual successor of the Ensemble family, something like that. And we have the 8x16, which is the biggest from the 3. It's a little bit more than the best of the previous 2. So now you can reach up to higher Atmos configurations regarding the number of the speakers, but you still have 8 microphone or line level inputs to do all the necessary studio things.
If you need it, you have them.
Absolutely.
Is it built on the framework by the previous Symphony?
No, not exactly. I mean, it's still a symphony level of conversion, so the same converter quality, but we have some nice unique features. For example, we have input and output DSP. Input DSP means the Apogee high-quality channel strip that we usually have in Apogee interfaces such as a Boom, such as Duet.
Yeah.
And we have output DSP, which is the real powerhouse for the Atmos configurations like, for example, the bass management, speaker delay capabilities, room correction, and room simulation.
Amazing.
Room simulation means, for example, you need to type in the material of your surroundings, such as the ceiling, the floor, and the walls. I mean, the material, how it's built, and the dimensions of the room. And with it, the DSP inside the interface is going to calculate your acoustic correction kind of things. And we have a linear phase EQ, which can tune in your room for the best Atmos capabilities.
Amazing. These are really futuristic options that not been seen much in a simple converter.
Yeah,
I say simple converter.
Yeah, Apogee has been around for 40 years now, more than 40 years. So we always try to innovate as best as we can. So we're famous for the quality of the conversion, the mic pre's and set on, and we need to find new ways to just give innovation to the people.
I'm happy you people still do that. I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see each other in the future.
Thank you very much.
Have a great one.
See you.
On the booth of RME, one of my favorite converters, I'm meeting up with Jos Pullens. Jos is the product specialist of RME through Europe. Enlighten us. What's new? What do we need to know?
Okay, well, we have a few new devices here, like the Fireface 802 Anniversary Edition.
Okay.
It's identically built for as the silver version, but now we also have a black version because we have 25 years anniversary of the Fireface 800.
Yeah.
That's why we built a black version to it. You can buy it separately, the black ARC USB. This will be a limited offer for until the production is gone, but this device will stay.
Okay. Is it a special price or just?
No, it's just a different build.
Just a different build.
Just a different build.
What makes it special in comparison to the regular version?
It's only black. It's identically built, but the Fireface 802 in general has the same and identical analog quality like the Fireface UFX3 and the Fireface UFX2.
Okay.
So you only have, you see, of course, obviously you have analog gains, and the UFX2, UFX3 have digital gains, no display, no Durec, so you can get it way more cost effective than the other devices. But the sound quality is still the same.
Still the same RME sound
Yeah,
quality. The ARC control?
Yes.
That goes separate?
Yes. It's separate. It goes. You can connect it directly to all our interfaces, also to the Fireface 802, but also to UCX2, UFX3, and UFX2. And the big advantage is that if you connect it directly, you don't need a computer. So you can, if you want to jam with your keyboard, or if you want to just listen to music, you still have volume control on the ARC.
Amazing.
Yeah. The second device is also quite new. It is new this year. Is our new DA converter. It's a high-end converter, the best we can do in this kind of channel count with a lot of channels. But we already had the 32 channels in an AD version and 32 channels in a DA version. Here you have 16 channels, DA and AD in one device.
And I see at 192 kilohertz.
Yes, up to 192 kilohertz. It all comes in this. It's all possible to remote control it in a web interface.
Yeah.
So you can do routing from your analog source to any digital source. Whatever you need, you can route it in a single channel, and you're going to you can forward it into your network or into your studio setup. You also have two headphone outputs, which you can use in your studio, of course, for monitoring or for monitoring for your musician. So you can feed it over the MIDI network into the headphone outputs.
Clever thought of.
This one is called MIDIface XT2. Because we already had a MIDI XT1, but due to the chip crisis, we couldn't produce it anymore. And we upgraded the MIDIface XT with new converters, new headphone amps, new microphone preamps, more DSP. So you can run room EQ and over 16 channels. So it's a very, overall, it's a very upgraded device.
Small powerhouse.
Yeah.
You said chips are complicated, the chip market?
Yeah, there were, due to Corona, there was a chip crisis, and a lot of manufacturers discontinued chips that we had in our devices. So we couldn't produce the devices anymore because the chips were not there.
No.
So we had to rebuild existing devices so that they could work again.
Was that challenge right for you, or did you rather see it different?
We rather see it different, but we saw it. We survived because people were staying at home, and they bought a lot of these DACs, these hi-fi DACs, to listen to music at home.
Yeah.
And that really saved our butt.
That's great to see you still saved. You know, you're one of the better, the greatest companies in digital audio, and I hope you will succeed for the future and be a long time among us.
Yes, thank you. We will. Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to thank you for your time, and I'll
You're
move
welcome.
up to the next booth. Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.
Dankjewel. On the booth with Blackline and Lindell Audio and a few other brands. Next to me is Mark. Mark, welcome to the channel. What can you share with us?
Thank you, Davey. So I'm Mark Williams with Rad Distribution. We own several brands, including Avantone Pro Audio, Blackline Audio, Golden Age Audio, Lindell Audio, and United Studio Technology. So we have several products showcasing some of the Blackline Audio power conditioners today.
It is amazing.
And we wanted to take a different approach with the power conditioner, so we use audio grade components to make those, so that when you go into the studio, it filters out a lot of the noise that you might run into from interference from other electronic devices or maybe older electricity as well. So it's really designed for use in the studio or with hi-fi, or they work with any applications. We've also got our Blackline Revolution series of audio interfaces, and one of the newest here is the Blackline Revolution EXP. And this is a product we've been wanting to make for a long time because it's no preamps or anything in the signal path. So you can use it as an ADAT optical expander for interfaces from really any brand, and then you can kind of pick and choose what you want to use as the front end. So of course you could use Blackline as a preamp for it, or you could use it like as an insert in your signal path in your DAW, or use a Golden Age preamp into it. And we really like these because we put a lot of time and effort into the clocks on there to make sure that you have good sync and stability, and then the converters as well. Then we've got some products over here from Lindell Audio, like the Lin 2A and the Lintech, which is just an LA2A style optical compressor.
And the LA1176.
And then a Pultec style EQ there as well. And these are great because we designed these for somebody who wants to get into pro audio, wants to use outboard gear, but they want something that's a little bit easier on the wallet and not having to spend a whole lot of money. So these are great pieces, whether you're just starting out or if you're an experienced audio engineer. And then we have some of our other 500 series products in there. Some of my favorites, like the Bluey 500, is based off of Chris Lord Algae's kind of cherished blue stripe compressor. So Blackline remade that product to make it a little bit more affordable.
They also got the rack mount, if I'm not mistaken.
And it comes in a 19-inch too, and it's different than other 1176s in that it's got a really hot front end, the way that it was modified over the years when it was repaired, Chris Lord Algae's unit, that it tends to have a little bit more mid-range presence on it, which is why he preferred it for vocals. So using it for a vocal, it's going to pull it a little bit more forward in the mix since it focuses on those frequencies.
That's where the magic lives, in the mid-range.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it's just, so then we've got the 17 and 500 also. And 17 is a real workhorse in that I use it on everything across the board, whether it's for, a snare drum or part of the drums or vocals or something like that.
Lives on my drum bus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love the 17. It's one of my favorite of our compressors that we carry.
What's up for the future?
So we don't have them here, but we just came out with the PBRS, the patch bays that have the lit screens on those, and those are nice. Have you ever tried to write the labels for a patch bay? It's incredibly small, so we put an LED screen on there, so you can type in, or you can use PatchCat on your computer to create all the names for your patches, which is super handy. So that way you're not trying to draw these little bitty tiny names and put them on there. So those are shipping now. We announced them at the NAMM show. And then another piece that we don't have here that should be shipping in the next month or so is the level lock. Shure, which is also with Blackline being in Chicago, and Shure in Chicago, they came to us and asked us to do the redo the level lock. So that's going to be coming soon. And it's a great piece for it's kind of like a real hard limiter and has a nice effect, like use it for drum overheads or something to get a real squash sound.
It's on my list. It's on my list to buy.
So that one will be coming soon. And then we don't have we do have kind of around at different booth areas here, some of the United Studio Technologies microphones and products. And United is a great company by Chad Kelly and Cave Dodrill. Chad Kelly has a real ear, eye, and mind for detail. And so fantastic mics if you have time, a lot of care and thought and detail put into those.
Looking forward to see the products on the market.
Yeah,
I want to thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you, Davey.
You're welcome, and I hope to see you up on the future.
My pleasure.
Have a
Thank
great
you for having
exhibition.
us.
You're
Have a great
welcome.
day.
You're welcome. On the booth with Rodec, Mr. Tom the Ritter next to me, the Belgium Knight.
Hello again.
Hello again. We got an episode coming up, that's for the future, but you got something interesting new to talk about. The Rodec one, tell me.
Absolutely. So next to our standard MX modular, we made a smaller housing, which is called the Rodec 1. It's a stereo housing that can hold our 100 series modules, you know, the little modules that we also have in our mixer with the adapter to 500 series. Now we have a standalone housing for that. And then the first new module that we want to launch together with this housing is called the Mini Styler, which is made together with Sherman from the famous filter bank.
Sherman filter bank. That should be a direct descendant of the Restyler, the original module.
Correct. So in the early 2000s, Rodec and Sherman already worked together on the Restyler. These are very hard to come by. You may find some on second-hand sites. We decided to reboot that in a smaller version, perfect fit for the mixing console.
Yeah, people should look it up because it's an amazing product. But the big question is, for the future, will there be a big version as well?
Well, we're talking to Sherman about it. And we might be up for it, but we'll see if we can make a Restyler Mark II. That's for the future. Right now, it's the Mini Styler.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes, and we hope it's going to be received well.
When will the Rodec one be available?
So this will be available over the summer. I think it will ship in September at latest.
We'll link the company in the description. You can look it up and follow the news about Rodec when it's available. I'll move on to the next booth, and I want to thank you for your time, Tom.
Thank you for coming by.
You're welcome.
See you soon.
We'll see you soon. Hi, you good? On the booth of AudioScape, next to me is Chris. Chris,
how you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks for having me. Tell us what's new, what's worth to know.
All right, so we have our first rack over here. We call this the mono rack. There's all our mono units sitting in here. And we got 3 different iterations of our 1176 style compressors. We have the 76D revision here, the 1176 Rev D. We actually have an expanded version of the Rev F right here, which is our new DE series. And this has a lot of really cool options. This is the first time we've shown actually one at a show, and you've been able to demo it and use it. And I really like how we added these options, but we didn't really go that far. I think one of the coolest mods on this, besides like blend or sidechain high pass, things that you see a lot, is we actually expanded the attack times. So it's not your traditional.
Longer or shorter?
Yeah. You can go slower, basically. Yes. So like from all the way fully clockwise till noon on the attack controls, like the traditional 1176 times. And then from noon all the way to counterclockwise, it's like double the length. And you were talking about the Trainwreck series with me earlier.
Yeah.
And what's great is we actually have an artist in Arizona, in the U.S. where we're from, that does all this patina work.
Okay, that's funny.
And then we have our class. This is actually, we sell, I think, probably the most of these. This is our version of the LA2A. And we build our own optical cells. We use new old stock tubes in it. That's one of the best things I think about building in the U.S. right now. Is this obviously it's handcrafted, everything we built from scratch, but
it's all boutique audio, it's all handcrafted.
Yeah, and you can find new old stock tubes in abundance there still.
Yeah,
like it's amazing. Yeah.
A classic pool tech underneath.
Yep.
You need one in your studio.
Yeah. Everyone I think the word game changer's overused, but it really is a game changer on a mix bus or anything. Individual vocal, it's great.
On the stereo rack.
Stereo rack. So we have our 1178 recreation. We were the first company to actually redo the 1178. We added a couple options, but we didn't go too far. We added like a blend control, really discreet. Like if you put an original 1178 on top of this, everything lines up. Like it's not like, you know.
The well-known G series compressor.
Yes, this was actually our first product. This is what launched the company. What I love about this is it's just like, obviously, I mean, you could talk about this ad nauseum, but you get a killer mix. It's good to go. This is just going to add that subtle glue. It's going to do the thing. It's not going to be too heavy-handed. It can on drums if you do that, and it does that trick as well. But I really think this really shines on the mix bus. DA3A, stereo LA3.
That's kind of special to me.
Yes. What's special about it is, I mean, everybody knows this is like a cheap box. You just put it through this box, it automatically sounds better, even without hearing compression or whatever. So
just the harmonic distortion from the transformers and
yeah, just it does something like to the tone where it brightens up and livens it up, and it just pops right out at you. And I love that about this.
Classic.
Dual 160 VU. We get a lot of questions about this. People ask, is this a stereo compressor? And it's really a dual mono compressor. It's kind of like getting two 160 VUs and just popping them in one rack.
There's no option to link the controls?
You can link that's what this RMS is. And you can link the timing caps in the human ear, like part of the circuit, the RMS circuit. So there's two tantalum caps, well, one on each side. And you're essentially linking those two together when you hit this.
But still, you need to adjust the individual controls.
Yes, and they are very, I mean, by design, they are very touchy. Moving along, this is our reverb unit. This is like building an echo chamber or a cathedral in a box. So we build this spring assembly from scratch, which I'm not sure how many people are doing that these days or this century.
Not anymore.
We've technically discontinued this, but not really. If you email us, we can special order and make one. It just might take a little bit longer.
If I get it for free, I want it.
Yeah. Just unrack it and take it. No. And then this is one of my personal favorites. This is our recreation of the RCA BA6A.
Yeah.
And this thing's just a tank. It's a beast. You can see it's got the old black metal tubes from the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
It's built like a tank. If I see it.
It's exact replica of the case. We've added some options that make sense to make it a modern compressor. One of the cool mods we added is actually a negative feedback switch.
Okay.
And
interesting.
Yeah, it actually reduces the negative feedback and it adds like an edge. It honestly, a good way to put it is it just kicks it in the ass even more. Like as soon as you just turn it on, it's awesome.
What's up for the future?
So actually at the show, we do have like a Euro rack version.
Oh shit.
We have a Eurorack version of the SSL bus comp. I believe they're actually putting that together right now in the rack. But basically we released this last Superbooth in the traditional bus comp color, and now we're doing a black version of that because everyone who has Euroracks it needs to match my scheme. So we did. We're doing a version that's got the black front panel, and we're announcing that here at this show.
Okay.
So,
we're looking forward to see that on hitting the market. I want to thank you for your time, and we'll see each other next year.
All right.
Have a great exhibition, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful people. I had an amazing experience here at Superbooth. Hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, or even better, subscribe to my channel. Hope to come back next year. And I say, until the next video, until we meet again, goodbye.